Episode 135. Burn his mother to the ground. Did you know that in order to start a zoo, you need at least one koala bear, two polar bears, and a grizzly bear? Yeah, that's the bare minimum. Hello, welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform and delight your ear holes with everything off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Well, that's how long I have until my flight leaves. All right, welcome to the show. And, before we get everything started, got to go over the legal boilerplate mumbo jumbo. So take it away, my enslaved AI interns.
You're listening to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast, the podcast for the off-roader with a short attention span.
Got something to say? We would love to hear from you. Just contact the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast at 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. That's 10minuteoffroad@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on our YouTube channel.
You can listen to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on whatever the hell you're listening to it on now, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Odyssey, Podbean, Pocket Cast, Podchaser, and iHeartRadio, or through our website, 10minuteoffroad.com.
You can follow the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, but never TikTok.
Don't go yet, enslaved AI interns. If you got some time to kill, check out one of these many Jeep-related off-road events that I plan on attending soon. So, again, take it away, enslaved AI interns.
Some of the upcoming events for 2026 at Mountaintop Jeep Summit in Clarksville, Georgia, March 13th and 14th. The 6th Annual Southeast Overland Camping Event, March 27th to the 29th, held at the historic Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary. Western North Carolina Jeep Fest in Maggie Valley, North Carolina, June 5th and 6th. The Bantam Jeep Heritage Festival in Butler, Pennsylvania, June 12th through the 14th. The Southwest Virginia Jeep Invasion in Tazewell, Virginia, July 11th. Toledo Jeep Fest in Toledo, Ohio, August 7th through the 9th. The Great Smoky Mountain Jeep Invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, August 20th to the 22nd. Picken Jeep Explosion in Picken, South Carolina, September 26th. Smoky Mountain Overland Invasion in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, October 23rd, All-Wheel Drive Fest in Uwharrie National Forest, North Carolina, October 16th to the 18th.
Ain't AI great? It's all fun and games until they take over the world. All right, shaking things up a little bit. You might have noticed trying out a little bit of new AI-generated theme songs instead of my typical shred. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just go back to the metal shred that I use. Trying to spice things up. It's the key to a successful relationship. All right, so quick update. I am all healed from my injuries and good to go, ready to go. Had a lot of time off. Enjoyed sitting around reflecting. Tried to do some YouTubing and podcasting, but I just wasn't feeling too creative. I guess the medication I was on just kind of drowned out the nick. But I'm all good and ready to go. I did go out as soon as the doctor cleared me to start walking again. I packed up the Jeep and headed up to the Fiska Mountains for 4 days, and I got to tell you, it was wonderful. It was right before we had our cold snap, so it was kind of chilly, but not unbearable, and it was very enjoyable. Had a very nice weekend. I'll talk about that in the upcoming show. Today, I want to talk about the basics of camping, and while I was up in the mountains, it was very essential. Campfire. You need a campfire. Well, it's not really mandatory, but I got to tell you, nothing warms the bones like a nice campfire. Cooking food over an open campfire just tastes better. It just boosts the mood. Just a bunch of people sitting around in a circle is fine. Or add a roaring campfire in the mix, and it punches things up a lot. You can live without a campfire, but for me, campfire is essential. Even in the summer, have a small little fire. You know, it's easy to forget that fire can be more dangerous than a raccoon with a taste for donuts. But proper fire safety is crucial to protect your campsite, surrounding wilderness, Most importantly, your marshmallows. Always have a bucket of water, dirt, or sand nearby, something to extinguish the flames. And never leave your fire unattended. Practicing responsible camping will ensure everyone can enjoy nature without getting burned. It's easy to forget that fire can be more dangerous than a raccoon with a taste for donuts. But proper fire safety is crucial to protect your campsite, the surrounding wilderness, other campers, because you're not the only person out in the woods, and most importantly, your marshmallows. You should always have a bucket of water, dirt, or sand, or something to extinguish your flames nearby, and never leave your fire unattended, which I am guilty of. I go to bed at night when the fire's still burning, which makes it easier to start in the morning. But that's for another podcast. Don't do as I do, do as I say. It's also important to check out the rules and regulations of the area that you're camping in. During the summer and dry months, the Forestry Service has a fire danger status and sometimes even a ban on fires. Some local wilderness areas and state-run parks and such, sometimes they just have a total outright ban on fires. So make sure to check out your local restrictions before heading out into the woods. You can find the danger status for the national forests at www.fsusda.gov. Yeah, I know that's a mouthful. And they're pretty good about updating their websites with alerts and dangers and stuff for the forest that you'll be in. So check it out. Check out the rules. You don't want to ruin your trip by running into a forest ranger. However, make sure your fire ring is in a suitable location. After all, the person who built the fire ring might not have been aware of any safety concern. Make sure it's away from overhanging branches and at least 15 feet away from your tent and or vehicle. You don't want ambers starting a fire or burning a hole in your tent. Although having a skylight in your tent is kind of nice, an unwanted skylight, not so nice. Then you should be aware of what's under your fire pit. Root fires are a thing. If you don't know what a root fire is, it's a wildfire caused by the burning of tree roots that can pose an often overlooked dangerous threat because the root burns underground. Its smoke may appear just as smoldering, indistinguishable from the wake of the forest fire. These fires can reignite a wildfire. For fuel for your fire, there's, of course, wood, charcoal, and other stuff. If you're harvesting firewood, first check your local regulations. Some places don't want you harvesting even down trees, as they give some of the wildlife an essential habitat. This pertains mostly to your state parks and game lands, but it's always best to check first. Nobody wants to get on the bad side of the popo. Before you break out the chainsaw, the Forest Service requires that you obtain a permit to operate a chainsaw. Now, I'm not telling you to break the law, but the stealth of a battery-powered chainsaw might be the way to go and not alert authorities where you're at. And while we're talking about the laws, in a lot of places, it's illegal to burn processed wood such as plywood and pressure-treated lumber. With that being said, when you're harvesting firewood, try to look for hardwoods like oak or maple that burn steady and produce a cozy glow. Softwoods like pine, which is like the number one wood in North Carolina. It's everywhere. It burns fast and smoky, perfect for a quick fire, but not so good for a long-lasting blaze. And if you don't have firewood, you could always use those Duraflame logs that you find in the store for your fireplace. Kind of pricey, but they work. And we get to the nitty-gritty of building a fire. First thing you want to do is gather some kindling. Kindling includes small sticks, paper, and anything that could ignite fat. I had a friend that would open up his Amazon boxes at the campsite so we could use the cardboard to start the fires. When gathering materials, avoid wet and soggy materials and green materials as they produce a lot of smoke. Aim for dry, fine materials to get the filing crack and blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of ways to start a campfire, but there's three main ones. There's the teepee method, where you put your kindling in the middle and you arrange your sticks around it like a teepee. That's good for airflow. The second is the log cabin method, where you lay 2 sticks down, 2 more sticks perpendicular to that, sort of like a big Lincoln log cabin, and you have your kindling in the middle of that. And that works pretty good. But the third method, and it's one I use the most, is you just throw crap on a fire. Throw a bunch of kindling down, like your paper and stuff, in the middle, small sticks. Then you throw your bigger sticks on top of that, and then you throw your logs on top of that until you have a big nasty mess of combustible stuff. And you ignite that. I've also used Duraflame makes a small, like 4-inch fire starter. It's like their house logs, but it's a little teeny tiny one. That works great for starting a fire. And if that don't do the trick, I always got about 20 gallons of gas in my Jeep and about 4 quarts of oil. So I'll get a fire started. One way or another, it'll burn. Once you got your fire ablazing, the key is to keep it under control. Monitor the size of the flames. They should dance, not roar like a mini dragon. Add wood gradually to maintain a constant burn without leading to an inferno. If the wind picks up, be prepared to shield the flames or adjust your logs to avoid any sparks flying where they shouldn't be. Word about flames dancing and not roaring. Come on, what kind of fire is that? We discovered a few years ago that a mini camp fan or battery powered fan placed near the fire makes it burn faster, hotter, brighter. It just forces oxygen into it. You can sit around a crackling fire in the summertime fine, but in the wintertime, I'd like a nice roaring blaze. If you could do that without producing a lot of ambers, awesome. All right, when it's time to call it quits, either at the end of the day or just at the end of the trip, extinguishing your campfire isn't just about throwing dirt on it and hoping for the best. Best way is to douse the fire with water. Make sure to soak the ambers, stir, soak them again. It usually takes about 5 to 10 gallons of water. But the more the merrier. If you're near a creek or a stream and have a bucket, awesome. If you're limited to water, do the best you can. If water isn't handy, dirt's your good friend. Just remember to bury it deep enough that the ambers you can't feel the ambers. Remember, leave no trace behind. Alternatively, you could pee on the fire. I do not suggest it because chances of burning your niblets are pretty good. And I don't know if you've ever done it before, but it stinks. Burning pee stinks. But the most important thing is to get your fire put out any way you can. Make sure it's not hot to the touch before you leave. You don't want to burn the forest down. And even if you do, like I said earlier, you're not the only camper in the woods. There might be somebody, a wildfire might creep up on them, and you don't want to put anybody else in danger. You want to leave no trace behind so you can enjoy the forest on another day. All right, and lastly, if there's no fire ring or no way to start a fire, or if there's a fire ban, a good alternative is a propane fire pit or even a portable charcoal grill. You have a small fire going in that, although I think during a ban that's kind of ruled out too. But propane fire pit's the way to go. We were out camping one time and it was in February and it was raining. It was a cold, wet day. We had a fire going, but we just opted out. We set up an awning, pulled out the propane fire pit, and I gotta tell you, it was a game changer. Changed the mood. Sitting around a fire just increases the mood. All right, I've rambled on long enough. It's time to end this train wreck. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in and listening. I appreciate it. It makes this all worthwhile. And until next time, this is Nikki G saying, "Will what you got and be happy." I did it. I did it all by myself. Because no one wants to be involved in this crime scene.